Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the NWP call this evening. My name is Rich Simmonds. I'll be the host and presenter. Before I go any further, I just want to read this disclaimer. The information I share should not be considered as financial advice. We share information about what we actually do ourselves. Please be sure you understand what you're putting your money into, and if you're unsure about something, please ask. And remember, historical results are no promise of what will happen in the future. Now, with NWP, there's solutions for everyone. It's investor focused. So the whole focus of the company is asset management and looking after the investor. But there's also opportunities for people who look for opportunities, the opportunity seekers. So we'll have a look at both of those scenarios this evening. It's really an ultimate solution because it provides you with a weekly cash flow. And that's either from the profits from your own investments or from bonuses and commissions. Everything's paid out on a weekly basis. So it just helps you balance your budget on a monthly basis. And, as opposed to normally getting a salary where it's once a month, here you can get an income every week, which definitely helps. I know it's helped me immensely in the past and still does. Now, NWP, actually their offices open on Friday in Istanbul in Turkey, and that'll be in the Trump Towers. So that's really nice. It's an easy place to find. It's not some little obscure office in the back road somewhere. This is a prominent place in Istanbul in Turkey. And it's virtually, from anywhere in Istanbul, you're able to see this building. And it's nice to know that NWP has its home there. Your benefits with NWP, and it's all about you and what benefits you can get, and that's the reason why you're here. It's a trading platform that manages your investments targeting a weekly income. So as I mentioned, it's that weekly cash flow that you're looking for. NWP's whole philosophy is to give you a weekly income, and how that works and how they generate those funds on a weekly basis is through using no more than 30% of your capital on the Forex markets, and that's traded, and that gives you those profits that you see on a weekly basis. So it's no more than 30% there, normally 20%, up to 30%, but the standard is definitely 20% of your capital that will be utilized. Your capital is always in your control. So in other words, it's a week-to-week basis. You decide on a weekly basis whether you want to continue or whether you want to initiate a withdrawal. The first time you withdraw your capital, you don't pay anything for that withdrawal. After that, if you want to take your withdrawal out, those withdrawals of capital incur a 2% fee. How it works, there's different asset portfolios available with NWP, starting with the foundation portfolios, which are as little as $10 up to $9,999. And what happens here is the traders look for a monthly target of between 5 to 10%. However, you don't have to wait until the end of the month to get your 5%. Those profits are then paid to you on a weekly basis so that you can get up to that target of between the 5 to 10% on a monthly basis. The next set of portfolios that are available, and just to mention that when you open a foundation portfolio, you can start with $10, as I mentioned. The maximum that you can put into a single portfolio will be $5,000. So if you wanted to invest $9,000 or $8,000, you would simply put in a $5,000 and whatever that difference is. So if it was $8,000 you were going for, you'd open a $5,000 and a $3,000. Remember, you can put any amount in there. So if you've got $12, you can put $12. If you've got $13, you put that in. If you've got $5,900 and $10, you put that in. The only thing you can't put into an asset portfolio is any of the cents that you might have in your thing. It's just round figures from $1 upwards that you can, well, from $10 or multiples of 1, should we say. So it's $10 upwards that you can put into either any of the portfolios that's in the foundation. Then we move on to the growth portfolios. And what happens here is that you might be accumulating, or you might have many portfolios in the foundation. So you might have a 500, you might have a 5,000, you might have a few $10 ones from your weekly reinvestments. And all of those together, the system looks, and as soon as you get to a total of more than 10,000, it'll automatically move all your foundation portfolios into the growth portfolios. And then once you've got more than 10,000 invested, all of your portfolios will start earning between 8 to 12% a month. And that's again paid to you on a weekly basis. And then moving up from that, we look at the elite portfolios at $50,000 or more. And the target there is between 10 to 15% per month. And again, the system will automatically move you from one set of portfolios into the next according to the volume of money that you've got invested. Right, so how have we done so far? Well, this has been 40 weeks of trading now. So in those 40 weeks, starting from the 26th of October last year up until now, the foundation portfolios last week made 1.095% for the week, bringing the week or the monthly total for the last 4 weeks to 6.85%. And then the growth portfolios, those are the ones with $10,000 or more, they last week earned 2.54%. So the total for the last 4 weeks there was 8.3%. That's in that target of between 8 to 12% for the growth portfolios. So that's how it's done so far. I haven't got figures, or I don't show figures on the screen of the elite portfolios, but they did achieve their 10% for the month or a little bit more. How do you start? Well, you start with a capital deposit, and that can be done in the following currencies. That's USDT, and that's on the Ethereum network, on the Binance network. Then there's Polygon on the USDT as well, and then USDC on the Binance network, and BNB or Binance Bucks on your Binance network. So those are the 4 or 5 different currencies currently that are accepted by the system. And remember that if you have your capital in by midnight on a Tuesday, that's midnight UK time, you will still get the profits for the week on a Saturday. Right, so everything goes into your check-in wallet. Just be sure that, as a rule, the minimum deposit that you can put into the system is $10. So, try to always make sure that you put $10 or more into the system. It just makes things a lot easier. There has been occasions where you can put slightly less in, but do be careful. That's all I can say. And definitely on the Ethereum network, don't put less than $10 in. Some of the other currencies, like the Binance options, you can put a little bit less than $10, never less than $3, but don't take my word for it, please. Rather go for $10 or more, and you won't have any problems, and you won't need to contact support. Right, so how it all works, if I can just explain this very simply, you put your capital in, the traders do the trading for you, they'll generate those profits for you on a weekly basis. Then those profits are then sent to a payment gateway. They're completely separated from the capital. So it's only the capital that stays with the brokers. All profits are then separated and sent to a payment gateway on a Saturday. And those profits, all of them, from the whole system, remain with the payment gateway until such time as you withdraw it. You can withdraw as long as you've got a minimum of $5 there. If there was only $3 there, that you see in your back office to withdraw, it'll still be with the payment gateway. It's not in the system. So NWP is not making any money off your capital or your profits. The profits are doing nothing until such time as you withdraw them and you decide what you want to do with them. It's only the capital that gets traded. It's not the profits that get traded. So there's no internal rotation of funds within the system. You then withdraw that to your own crypto wallet, and there is a withdrawal fee. You can make that withdrawal, it's a 5% fee, and this is the only fee charged by the NWP system, is a withdrawal fee. So there's no yearly subscriptions, memberships, anything like that. This is purely a trading system, and the only fee that you are paying is when you withdraw your profits. And that's a 5% fee. So if we looked at, you had $5 there, 5% of $5 is 25 cents. Therefore, you'd get $4.75 in your crypto wallet. This is all paid out in Polygon USDT. NWP has intimated that they will be adding other currencies in the future, but currently, as it stands, we on the Polygon USDT network for payouts. Right, so as I mentioned, your profits are sent to the payment gateway on a Saturday, and that's sent there. And your profits are not going to do anything unless you withdraw them. They're just going to sit at the payment gateway otherwise. So there's no auto reinvestment. If you want to reinvest, you need to withdraw that and put it back into the NWP system. And what I've done here is just said, the simplest is don't withdraw it to your crypto exchange, and I'll explain the difference between a crypto exchange and a wallet shortly. But the cheapest way to do it is through one of the private crypto wallets like SafePal. Your fee, you'll always pay 5%, as I've mentioned, but to send it back to NWP, and often people don't, withdraw, or they don't move their money because of the fees. In the case of Polygon, which is the currency used here, it's less than 1 cent for the transaction fee. So it's really nominal, and that's one of the reasons why Polygon USD has been chosen. Whatever your strategy is, whether you might be a big investor and you need to get your money out to an exchange on a weekly basis, that's great. So look at your strategy and decide what you want to do. If your intention is to get your money out on a weekly basis back into fiat currency, into your rands, into your dollars, into your euros, whatever you need it into, then obviously a crypto exchange is the way to go. If you are simply looking at saving or investing or reinvesting, and you want to do that, the cheapest route would be to use a private crypto wallet. So what do we mean by private crypto wallet and exchange? Exchange is something like Binance, Valor, Luno, Kraken, Altcoin Trader. And the reason why they're there is to exchange your rands, dollars, euros into a cryptocurrency that you can use. So they exchange your normal currency into crypto and vice versa. The thing about an exchange is the fees are generally high, just like a bank. The bank fees are high. So what you want to do is avoid high costs, and then use, if you're just moving crypto around, you use a private crypto wallet. Here we're talking about SafePal, Token Pocket, MetaMask, Exodus, and those type of wallets. The thing is, you can move crypto around there, and you can also swap currencies there. So you might have some Bitcoin that you want to swap for USDT, or you've got some BNB that you want to swap for Polygon or something like that. If it's something that you didn't need, or the system didn't accept something, you might have had something that you want to do. And that's what you would do and use a private crypto wallet for, because it's the more economical option. So that's just to explain the differences there, so that you don't, that you can avoid costs. The next thing is, getting yourself into NWP. Your exchange is going to give you some options to try and avoid the highest cost. And the highest cost is normally USDT, Tether on the Ethereum network. because you need Ethereum there to do your gas. Okay, so some of the simplest ways to do it is to exchange it for BNB. We've found that on a lot of the exchanges, like your Luno, Valor, Altcoin, and those sort of exchanges, obviously Binance, you're going to just go with Binance. But when you've got the other exchanges, you're going to try and get Binance or Polygon. But Binance would probably be your simplest option, because there you're going to be able to send it directly to NWP. So all these things I'm talking about now, I'm just going into a little bit more detail. Please, if you're unsure, ask. That's always the best. You don't want to lose money by making the wrong choices. Just pick up the phone and ask, and we'll be able to help you. So another option is to go for the Polygon option if you couldn't get Binance for some reason. But here you've introduced another step, which is fine, because it's something that's going to be useful for you, and that's to get Polygon. Now, Polygon and Polygon USDT are not the same thing. Polygon, or Matic as they call it, is your gas used on the Polygon network. If you were looking for Polygon USDT, the exchanges typically don't have Polygon USDT. The USDT that they will offer is, as I mentioned, usually the Ethereum USDT. So what you would do is get yourself Polygon, and then in your SafePal or your private crypto wallet, you would take your Polygon and exchange it for Polygon USDT so that you can send it to NWP. It doesn't have to be this complicated. It's here as an example, just to show you what crypto wallets do. Again, if you were withdrawing and you needed to withdraw from the NWP system, and your wallet or your exchange didn't support USDT Polygon, you would then take your USD Polygon that you've received from the NWP system in SafePal or one of those wallets, swap it back to Matic Polygon, and then send it off back to your exchange and sell it for your rands. That's the reason why I give you this example, is if you were going to do that. Now remember, don't get too stressed about this, because NWP will be introducing more cryptos that will be paid out, and by the time you need to make a withdrawal, you'll probably find that there's other options anyway. As soon as those are available, I will talk about them in the presentation. Right, so here's just an example of those fees. Remember that the fees, the Polygon is the Matic gas that you would use, and it just gives you options, and they're all less than 1 cent, even the slow, medium, and high speed. If this is new to you and you haven't seen this type of option before, please, again, just ask and we'll gladly walk you through this process. We just go onto a WhatsApp call, you share your screen, and I'll show you what to do step by step. Right, so when you're ready to start and get into the system, there is this little booklet that we've prepared on how to start. Just to mention, when you're registering, if you want to register very quickly, use a Gmail account. If you haven't got Gmail, you will need to contact support, because a lot of the email addresses that are not Gmail need to be whitelisted by the IT department. It takes a little while, but if you're a person that you're signing up is needing to use an alternative thing other than Gmail, and that's what they want to do, then it's just a matter of contacting support and waiting for IT to whitelist that email for you. NWP chat support is available through WhatsApp. That's the quickest. The girls, that +1 number, they are available in Canada. So this time of the night, they're very active. Obviously, early in the morning, they'll probably still be sleeping. So if you do contact them in the evening, then they are awake anyway. They'll be awake until you go to bed, long after you've gone to bed. So, and then the other option is that you could contact them on email. Email does take a little bit longer. Obviously, WhatsApp, you can see when they've read your message and they've responded. It's much quicker. Right, the website, NWP, nwprofits.com, is in the process of being updated, and we'll probably see those updates in a week or so. I'll let you know as soon as we've got a definite date on that. But with the office opening on Friday, we'll probably get an update on when the website will be ready. And it will be initially just sort of a cosmetic change, but then there will also be things in the back office and other things that will be added to the website in a week or so. Right, now let's talk about some extra income and the opportunity that NWP gives you. This is your key to weekly reoccurring income, and that's the affiliate plan. So if we look at your back office, you will see there it says your referral link is ready, and there's a link on your left and right that it's available. Here, this is where you can use this link to refer your friends. This is not a recruitment system. Okay, now when people talk about recruitment systems, what are recruitment systems? Well, when you have to pay a monthly fee, you have to pay a subscription, you have to do something on a regular basis. When you have to make an investment on a regular basis, that's also one of the signs of a recruitment system. No, this is not a recruitment system. This is purely an individual investment system where you can refer people. The focus here is the investor, and whether you've got one investor or 100 investors doesn't make a difference. That person will be looked after. To refer someone, when you register, you'll see that your links are already available regardless of whether you put money into the system or not. It's a free affiliate plan, and this is just there as NWP's commitment to community building, where they realize that not everyone's got money and people do need opportunities. Therefore, by referring people, they could start earning extra money on a weekly basis, and that's what it's all about. So if we look at your community structure, you can either put people in on your left or the right, and what will happen here is you might see that in your community there's people that just underneath you, suddenly there's people that you don't know. Where did they come from? Well, they came from your sponsor. Your sponsor will be able to either put in people just like you can on your left or your right-hand side of the system. When you put those people in there, they will fall there, and their people, as you can see in the structure, anyone that you've put in, if they put someone either in on their right, they might fall into that leg where they were put in, or they would fall into a new leg. So if you look at the person down towards the bottom right here, he's got people on the right-hand side, and then whenever he puts someone on the left, that's his personal referral, because only he can put someone in on the left, just like you or your sponsor can put someone in either on the left or the right. So if your sponsor was putting someone in on the left-hand side, that would fall under you. If they were putting someone in on the right-hand side, it would not fall under you, it would be on the sponsor's right-hand side. So this is where it has a benefit for everyone. And often we get asked the question, what is the benefit of having someone underneath you? Well, because of the structure and the way that the community is put together, there is a benefit when it comes to the other bonuses. Now, we'll have a look at what the bonuses are. And the first thing that we need to understand is, where do these bonuses come from? And your bonuses that you get from your referrals or from this community are all linked to the investor profit. So if the investor is getting a profit, in other words, your referral is profiting, you can profit as well. And that's week after week, forever. As long as they get in an income, you as the person who referred them will also get an income. So this comes from the trading on a weekly basis. So the trading result that you see in your back office is actually 50% of what was made by the traders. So if you see a result like the example on the screen here of 1.56% for the week, which is pretty average, that will actually mean that there was 3.1% that was profited that week from trading, and 50% went to the actual investor himself for his profits, and the other 50% went to the business volume that you'll see in your back office. Now, if we look at the company, and you obviously look thinking, well, okay, we've traded for 40 weeks so far, how sustainable is this company? Well, so far, if we look at all the statistics put together, the total of the complete payout to investors so far has been 83.24%, investor profits. And then because it's a 50-50 split, 83.24% was paid out to the business volume. Therefore, in these last 40 weeks since October, the 26th of October 2024, which is the first Saturday that they paid out the bonuses or the profits, that was 166.48%. So that should tell you something about the sustainability of the company. This is real trading, real profits. If it wasn't, it wouldn't have been able to survive. So that's the sustainability of the company. Right, so these bonuses that I've been talking about, you can earn them in 3 different ways. Firstly, from a direct referral bonus, then from a binary bonus, and then a matching bonus. The direct referral bonus is when you bring someone in, you introduce them into the system, your friend. When your friend earns a profit on a weekly basis, you will earn 10% of whatever they've earned for the week. And that's, remember, paid to you from the business volume. It doesn't come out of your friend's pocket. The binary qualification here and how it works, and this is where we start looking at the benefits for the community of people in the legs. The system simply looks at your left and right leg. It doesn't matter who they are. If you've got people on your left and you've got people on the right, and there was volume generated on a weekly basis in those legs, you will then qualify for the binary. So if we look at different ways of looking at that, you could be a case of you've got a binary qualification because you've brought in one person on your left and one person on your right. Therefore, the system sees that you've got volume on the left, volume on the right, and therefore you will earn a binary that week. Or if you look at the example on the right-hand side, here you didn't bring in anyone on the left because you don't need to bring in anyone. You just have to make sure that there's people on your left. And then obviously if this is your left and it's spillover, you would need to bring someone in on the right. And as long as they make an investment and there's volume on the left, volume on the right, you will qualify for the binary. So, this means that when you sign up, always ask your sponsor in which side is the potential spillover going to be. Spillover is never guaranteed, so you can't say, where is my spillover going to be? You say, if there's spillover, where will it be? And they can give you an indication so that you can decide where to put your people. And should you be lucky enough to get spillover, well, it's just a bonus. And that's what you will see. So always ask and find out which leg is the spillover leg, or they call that the power leg or whatever. But you ask and you find out so that you always know where to place people. If you're unsure about that, just ask again. Right, so the binary bonus here is whatever was generated from the business volume, and you will get 15% of the business volume that was generated for that week as a binary bonus, up to a maximum of $5,000 per week on the binary. Then there's a matching bonus. This works a little bit differently. It's still your network, but it's not your community that you paid the matching bonuses on. This is purely on your referral. So once you've referred someone and that person that you've referred starts to earn a binary bonus, you will then earn 2% of whatever your direct referral has earned, and then 4% of your referral, and 4% of your referral up to the third level here. So that's just a matching bonus, just a little extra bonus that the company does give you. Right, so as I mentioned, the system's completely sustainable because all profits, firstly, the system's sustainable because there's no internal rotation of funds. Then, obviously, there can be no bonuses if there's no profits. So that also gives you peace of mind, knowing that everyone in the system who's making either a profit or a bonus has to withdraw their profits. And when I say has to withdraw their profits, well, if they're not going to withdraw their profits, they're just going to sit there. It's not going to be used by the traders to trade. Those profits are with the payment gateway, and they'll remain there until such time as you withdraw them. So you'll know that the system is completely healthy because everyone is withdrawing their profits on a weekly basis. Why wouldn't they? Right, then we come to the career rewards, and this is just, this is a lifetime reward. So in your lifetime of your NWP life, as soon as you've earned $100 from the binary, and that could take you a month, it could take you 6 months, it could take you however long to earn these career rewards, but as soon as you've reached that level of earning from your binary, you will then get your reward. So you'll notice the first reward is 3 months data or some alternative, depending on the country and depending if 3 months data is a nice reward for that country or not. In some of the Eastern countries, 3 month data is very valuable. In other countries, you might need 3 month data or you might not need 3 month data. So it's just you can decide at that point. Then the next one, once you've earned $500 from the binary, you have a luxury hotel stay for you and your partner. And then the next lot, when you come to the team builder level where you've earned $2,500 on the binary or upwards, here it changes slightly. Here you can choose to either bank your $2,500 and move to the next reward, or take the reward and then start from scratch again to get up to the next level. So if we look at the executive level and moving from team builder to the executive level, if you decided no, you didn't want the tablet, you're quite happy, you've got enough tablets at home, and the bottles are full, okay, you would then simply say, no, I want to bank my $2,500, and I'm going to use that $2,500 towards my $7,000, and you could do that all the way up to your Rolex watch. When you've earned your $25,000, well, then you get your Rolex watch. And that could, as I say, it could take you 6 months, 6 years, however long to earn your Rolex watch. But when you've earned the $25,000 from the system, you will get your Rolex watch. That is NWP's commitment to you for your reward over the career. Then moving on, the rewards just get a little bit bigger. And here you need a team structure. Basically, to get the first reward, which is a $10,000 down payment for a car, you would then need 3 Rolex watches on your left and 3 Rolex watches on your right in your team, and the rewards just get bigger. But as I say, these never fall away. These just accumulate over time. It might look like a very big reward at the moment, but as you move up in the system and as your community grows, so the rewards become a little bit more closer for you. Right, and that is my presentation for this evening. I know that this has been quite detailed. On a Tuesday, we just make the presentation a little bit more detail, give a little bit more detail, answer a few more questions, and then I know tonight we're going to show you, or Paula's going to actually show you the spreadsheet that is being created to work out for you how to sort of, because people often want to know about, how do I reinvest? What is it going to cost? How am I going to do it? And potentially, what can I look for? So Paula, if you could share that sheet and explain a little bit about that.
Okay, I'll do that. Sorry, Rich, I just wanted to clarify something on the career
Yes.
rewards. If you decide, say you're on the 2,500 and you take the reward,
Yes.
do you then start off from the very beginning again to build it up? Or can you go from there to the next level?
Now, if you took the reward, you would then basically start at zero. So you would need 7,000 to get your reward there. So you would have taken
Okay,
your 2,500, and then you would need to start at zero again towards your 7,000.
okay. All right, cool. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Rich and I decided we needed to do something like this just to give people an idea of, how potentially your investment can grow. So in this example, I am using the booster with the $90, and we are showing it as the minimum return of the 5%, just to keep it realistic, because we never know what returns we're going to get, So that's their target. So we're going to keep it at the minimum. So you'll see in the columns here, we've listed it. We've got the months in the first column, the starting capital at 90. If you wish to contribute extra money per month, then under this, in this red section here, these are the only cells that you can change. So if you were wanting to contribute something extra, then you would say add in $10 over there, and it would recalculate into the spreadsheet. But for now, I just want to keep it at the $90. Then we've got the profit earned per month, the accumulated profit, the additional reinvestment. At the top here, you'll note that the additional reinvestment includes the 5% withdrawal fee. So you don't have to sit and try and calculate that into the figures. It's already taken into account here. And then the last column is just showing the capital, the balance as it grows. So if we have a look at the booster and you put in your $30, but you have now been given the extra 60, so you're starting off with $90. And just at your 5%, your first month, you're going to be earning $4.5. As you know, you can't reinvest that because we need a minimum of $10. So by the third month, you would have been able to do a reinvestment of $10 because now you've accumulated $13.50. So now instead of having only a $90 investment, you've moved up to $100. But what's quite interesting with this is, I just want to double check that I'm not doing it wrong now. So if we started at 90, by the seventh month, just at the 5%, you've made you're up to $120 that you've reinvested. So basically, you've got your $30 that you initially put in. You've actually got that back within the first 7 months, which I think is pretty awesome. So yeah, also the purpose of the spreadsheet is to show you the power of taking that $90 and reinvesting every month instead of just taking it out, because once you've got your $90, the booster ends. But if you reinvest it, you can actually grow it very nicely. So if we go to the 16th month, you will see that we're now sitting on $180. So we've grown we've basically got our $90 back. Okay, so we've made the $90. So now basically at this point, your booster will actually end. And you won't see it in the back office if you've taken your money out every week. But if you continue to reinvest it every week, look how nicely it grows. after 24 months, we're sitting actually a total of $270 from us putting in $30 and the company giving us an extra $60 so that we're making the returns from 90 instead of 30.
I suppose the only
Okay.
thing about this sheet is that at that point, you would actually have $90 less capital, which this sheet obviously wouldn't work out.
Yes. No, but Rich, that doesn't this show it then that with us reinvesting the whole time that we would have been up to that?
Well, remember that your capital would have remained there until such time as you got $90 in profit, and then
And then it falls away.
then it would fall away. So at that point that you've earned $90, your capital would then reduce by $90. So
Okay.
which obviously
All right.
a sheet like this can't do, because it's probably more designed for your normal investment and not for the booster. But it would be accurate to the point that you earned $90.
Okay. So sorry, guys, I'm wrong there.
No, that's okay.
I was getting very excited about that. Okay. So it would basically, you'd be sitting on your $180 then.
But I mean, this sheet's very useful for like your normal type of investment, or if you just remember that, and then you can, just work out at that point. You just reinsert the starting capital once you've been paid off your 90, and then whatever you've got in the system at that stage, you can just, this. Yeah. I mean, obviously, because and you'd really want to change it, because if you 2 weeks ago when we were earning 2%, then you'd want to put that total in at that point and then look forward from there, as opposed to because it wouldn't it wouldn't take into account the history, or it wouldn't know how much you've actually earned for the month, because this is working out at 5% going forward, but you've earned 7% this last month, for instance. So it's just really there as a tool to help you. It's not accurate. It's not history. Your history is in your back office.
Yeah. And what's nice is, as Rich is saying, I mean, we can now not look at the $90 and say one is investing $50. You can put in your $50, and if you're able to say add in $10 a month, then you can see nicely how your investment can grow from there. And well, basically my approach has been to, every time I've got my $5 and I'm working it together with my hubby's account. So when I've got $5, maybe my $5 is from my referral fees and his is from the investment. Then I put it together and I do a reinvestment on either his name or my name. And so we carry on building in that way. But yes, it's really, and this is nice for planning, to have a look at how you're going to plan, where do you want to get to, how long is it going to take you, etc. Okay, we've only done it for 24 months, but one can always then go at the end of 24 months and then put in the 590, I suppose. Rich, if I'm correct in
or
doing
you can
it
just add some more columns at the bottom there.
Yeah, or you can copy and
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. All right, and then on the weekly side, so here it's also just showing every week with your, okay, we've left this one at the $30 and we've set a monthly contribution of $30. Okay, but we don't, I'm going to take that out of there. Okay. So here we're looking at a minimum return of the $5, the 5% divided by 4 is your 1.25%. So if you look at that simply, how long the $30 will actually take to grow. So it does take quite a while before you're going to get to a point where you can actually reinvest another $10. So it just shows you how powerful then us getting that extra 60 is from the company added to our 30. I mean, just a normal $30 investment is going to take a long time to be able to add on 10. So, otherwise one must have a look at, say, adding 10 on every month and then see how that changes it. After 24 months, now you're sitting on $100. Rich, anything to add?
Yeah. I mean that's it's. I think it looks accurate there. Yeah. Although if you add in 10, I suppose it's right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean it's real, and it's and that's what you can expect on the smaller amounts.
Sorry, and I'm just talking months here again, and sorry, this is weekly. So this was after 24 weeks.
24
sorry, guys.
weeks. Oh, yes, 24 weeks.
Not months, yeah.
Yes. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds a bit better.
Yes, 20, that sounds more realistic, yes. And then a monthly contribution, because that's once a month then that $10 goes in, yes. Every 4 weeks.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Okay.
Any questions from anyone?
I'd like to have a question. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Brenda.
Evening.
How are you?
Good on you, Brenda.
Thanks. I just want to know, is there a delay when you're doing a withdrawal from NWP to the exchanges, or is it an immediate transfer?
Well, yeah, okay, it's relatively immediate. Okay, especially if your exchange accepts USD Polygon. Okay, if it doesn't, like I say, there will be other cryptocurrencies added to NWP's back office where you would be able to withdraw another currency that might be more in line with your exchange. But let me give you an example of a lady who took out $13 this last weekend. She needed to buy some pills because she just had an operation and she'd run out of her medical aid. So she needed to draw out her $13, and this was in South African rands, and she was using Luno. Okay. What happened is Luno doesn't accept Polygon USDT. But they do accept Polygon Matic. So what we did was we took her USDT into her SafePal wallet. We then exchanged that for Matic, and we then sent the Matic to Luno because they accept Matic. What happened then was she then got out from her $13 about 210 Rand, just to give you an example there. And that whole process of taking it from NWP and getting it into her Luno was because she had to swap and those sort of things, okay? It was about 40 minutes in total from the NWP system into her private wallet and into Luno. So if it was going, it came to her private wallet within about a minute, and then the rest of it is just purely taking time to check and make sure and do the swap. So, as I say, I had a call with her and I was helping her with that, and it was 40 minutes from the time she initiated the withdrawal at NWP to the time she got it into her Luno wallet. So I hope that helps. But the payment is automatic. It comes into your crypto wallet, your private crypto wallet, when you're making a withdrawal from NWP, probably within about a minute or two at the max. And then from there, it's just a case of what do you need to do with it to get it into your exchange, to get it into rands. So I hope that helps, Brenda.
maybe I might have done it wrong because I did a withdrawal directly from NWP to Luno
Yes.
and it didn't show up. But anyway, yeah. So maybe that was my error. So that means that next time I need to take it from NWP on to SafePal and from SafePal on to Luno.
Yes. So the one thing that you've always got to be sure of is that whatever crypto you send into a wallet, whether it's your private wallet or it's an exchange, whether they can actually accept the crypto that you're sending. And it's the same as when you're depositing into the NWP system. Always make sure that if you're sending USDT, which USDT are you sending? Is it the Ethereum? Is it the BEP20 BNB USDT? What is it? So always just make sure that you're using the correct currency and the correct chain, as they call it, to get the right currency. Because if you, in your case, were sending Polygon USDT to Luno, for instance, and they haven't got Polygon USDT, then they can't accept it, and effectively you might have lost it if they're not able to help you. So that's why it's always just be very sure about the currency and the coin that you're using.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm sorry about that, Brenda, but yeah, that's why we say, please.
No, it was there's always a lesson to be learned. It was my very first withdrawal for $5. So yeah.
Okay.
Then my next question is would it be easier also to move the wallet within the NWP instead of taking it out to the exchanges?
Yeah. So the best is not to take it to an exchange, okay, because it's going to cost a lot of money. If you want to simply do a reinvestment, then
Yes.
what you do is take it to your private crypto wallet. And when you've got your $10 ready in your private crypto wallet, then you send it back to NWP. Okay. So what you need to do now is in your back office, you've got your...
Yeah, that I understand.
Hmm.
Yes, I understand. But I was thinking of just moving it within NWP instead of taking it out to the private wallet. So taking it from my withdrawal wallet into my deposit wallet.
No, that's the NWP system to make sure that there's complete transparency and that the money is real. Okay, NWP has made it compulsory that everyone takes out their profits into a private crypto wallet, or the private crypto wallet's the one that is...
Or the exchange. Yeah.
Or the exchange, but the problem is with an exchange, it's extra fees. If you're going to use an exchange to then send it back to NWP.
Yeah.
So the cheapest way to do it is to send it to your private crypto wallet, and then you're only going to spend about a cent. Whereas if you're going to use an exchange, they normally have a minimum fee. It's So, yeah. So what you need to do, Brenda, is ask support to take out that wallet address that you've used previously. They must remove that wallet from your account, because next time when you want to withdraw, that wallet is loaded already in your back office. So just ask support to remove that wallet. And then when you're ready to make your withdrawal next, you can add your new wallet in there.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You can't, for security reasons, you can only load one wallet at a time. And then if you need to change that wallet, you need to contact support. And they will do that. It takes about a day or two. So if you do it, as long as you do it long before your next withdrawal, then you won't have a problem when you're making your withdrawal in future.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Good. Thanks, Brenda. And sorry that we had to learn from you and your mistake there, but that's how we learn, as you say. And yeah, but it's important that we do hear those things and we all learn from that.
Thank you very much for the answer.
It's a pleasure, Brenda. Pleasure. Are there any other questions? Anything else anyone would like information for us to go over? Or okay, I know Uwe asked if we could share that spreadsheet on the group. So Paula, if you could put that spreadsheet onto the group for us, that would be great.
I'll do so.
Thank you.
Rich, don't you want to share the link of the support on the group?
Yes, I'll do that. Yes, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
The WhatsApp number for support. Yes, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for joining us this evening, and we'll see you again on Thursday evening if you do want to join us. Thanks very much.